Good evening, everyone. This is Rodrigueza Elapre, and together with my partner or my pair in this chapter for family communication and decision making, Miss Afara Diliatan. But before we discuss the first topic, let us have a brief summary of what are the different topics that we're going to discuss tonight. So the first topic we were going to discuss is the family communication. The second would be importance of importance of family communication. Third one is different types of family communication. The fourth one would be the definition of decision making, and the last but not the least is the different types of decision making. So moving on. Family communication. This is according to the Child and Adolescent Psychiatric Clinics of North America in 2004. The family communication is the way family interacts each other through verbally or words and behaviorally or through actions to express their needs and to communicate their views for each other. Essentially, family communication is about sharing information that helps a family members to understand each other's needs, feelings, and perspectives. And effective communication can promote healthy relationships and can have also in emotional support, while poor family communication may lead to misunderstandings and conflict. So that is the definition of family communication. Moving on, we have the second topic is about importance of family communication. First one would be builds stronger relationships. Okay, this is true. Open communication fosters trust, understanding, and closeness among family members. When everyone feels heard, yes, and valued, relationships deepen and conflicts are resolved more easily. Yes, because in the importance of the family communication, it builds stronger relationships because each member of the families feel that they are being valued. They feel that they are really respected and they belong to the family because they are here. They are respected. Their opinions are what do you call this one, are accepted to their family members. The second importance of family communication would be enhances emotional health. So enhances emotional health. This good communication allows family members to express their feelings, their needs, their concerns, their opinions, their perspectives, and views to each member of the family. So sharing helps to alleviate or reduce stress. It also reduces misunderstandings and conflicts to the family, and also it creates a sense of security. You will feel secured, okay? And this is essential for emotional well-being. So each and every one of us, this is very crucial that um, we in ourselves feel secured in our family. The third one would be encourages a mutual support and problem solving. So this is relatable, no? Okay, families that communicate well or have a good communication are better equipped to support each other through challenges because ika nga ng nakararami, iwan ka man ng iba pero ang pamilya ay nariyan lang. So, by openly discussing problems, they can collectively find solutions and support one another, making it easier to navigate tough times. So, or your family will always be at your side no matter what happens. They're always there to understand you, to guide you, and to support you in your life. Then the last but not the least, we have fosters personal growth and learning. Okay, healthy communication encourages family members to share ideas, opinions, beliefs, experiences, um, creating a space for a learning and personal growth. Yes, it would help you to learn and to become a better person. So children in particular learn how to express. So children are encouraged to express their feelings, their beliefs, because they themselves respect each other's perspective. So family, each member of the family should respect each member's perspectives, skills that are invaluable in their development. So effective family communication rather lays the foundation for nurturing and resilient family dynamic, benefiting each member individually and collectively. Moving on, we'll have the um, types of family communication. So the first type of the family communication is the protective. Under in this diagram, we have the low um, conversation and then the high conformity. Before we discuss that one, the word conformity there means that it is to the extent or degree to which a family um, share their beliefs, experiences, and ideas. So that is conformity means. So the first type of family communication we have the protective. So protective in protective communication families, there is a strong emphasis on obedience and conformity. Yes, as you can see in the diagram, so these families often have a hierarchical structure where parents or guardian make most decisions with limited input from children. So this kind of no, this type of family communication can be related to a traditional family because often our traditional family, the decisions of each family, yes, the decisions of each family came from our parents, which is the father and the mother. So they they are limited uh, they have a limited input from their children or their kids. So communications is generally one way with a minimal open discussion. So this is just minimal, no? So as the goal is to maintain harmony and respect and authority. Yes, because as children or as a daughter or son of our parents, we have to maintain our respect because parents known as have the authority, they have the authority of the family. Well, this style can provide clear structure. It may limit children's ability to express their own opinions freely or develop independent decision making skills. Yes. And the second one is laissez faire. So according to the diagram, we have a low conversation and low conformity. So in this family types of family communication, there is a minimal involvement or direction from parents. So family members are relatively independent, and there is a little emphasis on shared beliefs, not or close emotional bonds. So communication is typically low in both frequency and intensity, with few expectations for children's behaviors or beliefs. So this type or style of communication might lead to have a lack of support um, and communication to the members of the family, and sometimes it may also lead to a misunderstanding and conflict between the members of the family. While also the benefits of this type of family communication, it encourages independence, no, but as I said earlier, it has a less guidance, less open communication, and it might lead to a misunderstanding and a conflict towards each member of the family because of limited communication towards each other. So you cannot what do you call this one? You cannot express all your feelings, your ideas, your beliefs, your perspectives or opinions towards this kind of matter, towards this and that. So that's it. So that is what you call the cons of this type of family. So each of these communication styles has unique effects. Yes, it has different effects, whether it is a positive, there is a positive and there is also a negative effect on this family communication style. So this is how a family members interact and support each other and resolve conflicts. So that's all for my report. I would like to give the floor to Miss Afara Dilyatan for further explanation about the two remaining types of family communication, which is the consensual and pluralistic. That's all, and God bless all.
So the next type of family communication is the consensual. High conversation, high conformity. So this type of family communication encourages open communication and discussion, but ultimately prioritizes reaching agreement. So members value both expressing their viewpoints and arriving at a shared decision. This often leads to more involved discussion, but still with a focus on consensus. So one of the example of this type of family communication is that a family where everyone shares their opinions on important issues, but ultimately respect the decision made by the majority. So one of my example of this is that kanang your mother or your father decide nga mo sell or mo baligya og yuta. And yes, ang mga anak, di ba, kuan man na, kapilan. So nagmeeting mo together with the kung kinsa ang nibaligya, your mother ba or your father. So for example, your mother. So ang imong mother together with kamo mga siblings nagsabot-sabot. So ang price nga ina decidean sa imuhang mother is lahi, and then kamong mga siblings is lahi po ninyo nasabutan. Kay naay one sibling nimo nga ningon nga kanira nga price para nga malinda yun. And then ang masunod jud is ang imuhang mother, which is the owner of the kuan kanang anang yuta. So this is the time that respects the decision made by the majority. So siya ang masunod kung unsay man iyang decision. So that is the consensual. And next is the pluralistic. The pluralistic is high in conversation and low on conformity. So this type of family communication values open communication and individual expression. Members feel comfortable sharing their views, their own opinion, even if they differ significantly. There's less emphasis on conformity, allowing for a diversity of opinions. This can lead to engaging in a lively discussion, but may lack a unified family stance. So when we say pluralistic, so one of the example of this type of communication is that a family where members have diverse political views and engage in respectful debates about current events. So one of the example of this nga akong ma-share is that yes, kamong mga family nag-share mo na about aning electing sa mga politiko. So lain-lain mo o gisuportaan nga politiko. So yung lahi sa imong father, lahi mo. And then mag-share mo og own point of view, sharing your point of view nganong kaninyong gisuportaan. So that is the example of pluralistic. So that's are the 4 types of family communication. Next, definition of decision making. So what is decision making? Decision making is the process of making choices by identifying a decision, gathering information, and assessing alternative resolution. So it is the process of selecting a course of action, daghang mga options. So I have here one of the example of a decision making. So you're deciding what to eat for dinner. So imuhang mag-decide ka kung sa imuhang kanon for dinner. So you have several options. Nahuna na ka. So imuhang unang naanuhan is order takeout from Jollibee or sa McDo ba? Because you are craving food for a chicken. And then naano po kayo na hunahunaan nga cook something quick and easy na lang sa balay. So kana siya the decision making process no naay process ning mag-decide ta. Dili kay basta-basta go dayon. So first is you are going to identify the decision or you are going identifying the decision. You need to decide what to eat. Yes. You're deciding what to eat for dinner. Maghuna-huna ka if unsay muhang kanon for dinner. And then next is gathering information. So you are going to consider options. Katong options nga mo order ba ka take out from Jollibee or McDo because you are craving. Then how much time and effort you have, your budget. Maigubay mong budget to buy or mo take out sa Jollibee or sa McDo. So next is assessing alternatives. So you weigh the pros and cons of each option. So imong option nga mo order take out from Jollibee or McDo is convenient. Yes, it is convenient, but it is more expensive. So manahunaan na nimo, and then sa sunod magluto ra ba ka? Cooking a simple meal is quick but might not be as satisfying. So, mo-order ba ka or magluto? If magluto ka, ganahan ba ka? And then, making a choice. So, kung ana ka, you are going to choose one option naman dyan based on your kung kanang unsay mong kanon. And that is the decision making. So, you are going to decide what you're going to eat. Next are the types of family decision making. So we have 5. The instrumental decisions, affective decisions, social decisions, economic decisions, and technical decisions. So first, the instrumental decision. When we say instrumental decision, these decisions focus on practical, functional needs and are often made based on logic and efficiency. So, for example, ani is choosing a new car based on safety features, fuel efficiency, and budget. So, instrumental. So, for example, kanang palit og new car. So, you are going to be practical, be functional. So, imo ikuan kung what are the safety features ani nga sakyanan, tipid ba siya sa gasoline, and kaya ba sa imong budget. So, muna siya ang instrumental decision. Next is the affective decision. Affective decision. This decision involves emotions, feelings, and values. They are often made based on what feels right or what aligns with the family's core beliefs. So, for example, choosing a vacation destination based on a family history, cultural significance, or emotional connection to a place. So, your parents decide nga mag-vacation. And then, hanunaan nila ang place nga ilahang naadtuan na. So dadun pud mo nila dito kay nice dito, and so on. So that is the affective decision. Next is the social decision. A social decision, these decisions involve the family's relationship with others and consider societal norms and expectations. So example of this, the social, kay you are going to decide whether to homeschool children or send them to public school. So kana you're going to decide nga dadon ba nimo ay mohang child sa public school or sa balay ra ba magpa-tutor. So so mas maayo ang send to the public school para nga na ay makihalubilo imuhang bata. And next is the economic decisions. These decisions are about managing finances from the word economic, so including income, expenses, savings, and investment. So the example of this is you are going to decide whether to buy a house or magrenta ra ba. Considering family income, mortgage rates, and a long-term financial stability. So imong hunahunaon o makadaghan if mo palit ra ba mo og balay or magrenta. If magpalit mo, kaya ba sa inyong budget? If magrent mo, nana. And the last type of family decision making is the technical decisions. These decisions involve technical knowledge and skills. They are often related to specific areas like home repairs, technology, or healthcare. So the example of this type of family decision making, choosing a new computer based on technical specification, software compatibility, and your budget. Yes, and technical decisions. So for example, you are going to buy a new computer set, a laptop, or cell phone. So you're going to decide kung unsa ang mas dagag specs, mas iyang software mas nice, and kaya sa imong budget. So that are the 5 types of family decision making. That's all for our report. Thank you for listening.